My proposal is that you just have competing currencies and let the Fed self-destruct. But once if you put a free market person in there and just say, you know, he's just more on the sea, he would do a lot less. He wouldn't monetize debt. The dollar there'd be a significant improvement even with the Fed existing there. But no, a free market president shouldn't appoint somebody to the Federal Reserve. They should work to. And you know, you wouldn't have a chance right away. So what I'd want to do is get that bill passed to have competing currencies.
Mm-hmm. And a follow-up to that would, as President Paul, what would be your first day in office like? What would you do? What kind of agenda would you set from day one?
First thing I would do is I'd call the generals up on day one.
Yeah.
Say, we're coming home.
Yeah.
Congressional approval. Moving the troops around is a legitimate executive order, and it would send a tremendous signal. The foreign policy is now changed, and the troops are coming home. I think it would help the whole psychology of the economy, because all the money these troops have been spending overseas would be spending their money here at home. And it'd be nice if you could get them home in a week. It might take a little bit longer. You have to get the ships over there, to get the ships back. But all this money is being spent in Korea and South Korea, and Japan, and Germany, and then think of everything in the Middle East. And just think of all this money that, you know, the arms manufacturers just love it. Just think of all these missiles that we're dropping, these drones, and of course that's the CIA from over here. They're bombing. Every time they blow up one of those bombs, it's a couple of $1 million. Oh, go build another one, you know. So that would send a signal. But that was one thing you could do and have a significant change immediately.
And can you elaborate on why you didn't support cut, cap, and balance? I know Senator Paul supported one of the plans. I think there was a difference between the one.
Yeah, I signed the pledge, but the pledge was very generalized, and it was only one page. You want to cut a significant amount, and you're not going to raise any spending, and then you would vote for a balanced budget. So I signed that, but it didn't say anything about raising the national debt. I'm just opposed to raising the national debt. I'm not going to raise the national debt. I didn't vote for any of the spending, so why should I encourage them to even spend more? So I didn't like the raising the national debt. And most of the other things were in there. The cuts, as far as I'm concerned, were puny, and this balanced budget could take years and years and years, and they cheat all the time, and they probably would continue to cheat. And if you don't address monetary issues, you know, the Congress spent about $1 billion, nearly $1 trillion, 907 billion to bail out a lot of companies. But the Fed spent 15. It's off the books, and we don't even have an audit of them. So that's how big the problem is. So I like to emphasize the only thing that counts is this year's budget. So, but the main reason, the defense of it, is I'm not going to vote, and that's coming up. We have another vote tomorrow. I'm not going to vote for it because, once again, it raises the debt limit. But like I said earlier, they're not going to default. They'll either do it without the permission, or they're going to get the permission one way. It's like the CR, you know, it goes up to the last minute, and then they finally say, oh, the government's going to close down. And, you know, they pass it. But one thing that's very bad about the one tomorrow is there's a group of senators and a group of members of the House, and sort of a unique commission that I don't know where they got this authority, out of the thin air. And they would get together and do all the cutting and proposing, and then they'd send it to the Congress. It would be an up and down vote. You would have no responsibility of writing it, and no responsibility, no ability to amend it. They would be the legislative arm that just dumps it in the lap of the House and the Senate. So that's a bad move.
Have you ever considered writing a memoir or maybe autobiography, maybe in the future after your presidency?
Not seriously.
Well, last question then, so we can move on. Since you're not running for Congress anymore, which is unfortunate, but if you don't win election, heaven forbid, what's your plan and what do you want to do next? Have you considered that?
That's a negative thought.
Well, how about this? What would you want to do after your presidency, after 8 years?
consider retirement. No, but I'll always be involved one way or the other. And I've always said that no matter what I've been doing, whether in office or out of office, got out of office because I didn't want to stay here. And even though the organization is relatively new, which is closely related to your organization, and it is Campaign for Liberty. Everybody should be campaigning for liberty. That is the purpose of all political activity, is the preservation of liberty. If we have that, we don't have to worry about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself.
Well, thank you very much, Tom.